In 2004, Michael Schumacher crossed the finish line in first place for the 13th time that season. It was perfection, it was domination, and it felt inevitable. But today, people barely speak his name. The rise of new icons, the noise of fresh battles, has history started to forget the man who once ruled Formula One? So today we ask, how good was prime Michael Schumacher, really? Let's rewind to a time when Formula One didn't just have a champion, it had a ruler. We're talking about 7 world championships, 91 Grand Prix wins, 68 pole positions, the only driver to win 5 straight titles with the same team, the mastermind behind Ferrari's greatest era. This is the story of a driver who didn't just win, he redefined what winning meant. Michael Schumacher wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't handed a silver steering wheel. He was born in Hürth, West Germany, where his father worked at a local karting track and his mother ran the canteen. Michael's first kart, a pedal kart. His father bolted a small motorcycle engine onto it. That's how it began. Michael wasn't just fast, he was relentless. From a young age, he learned to push machines and people to the limit. His father worked multiple jobs to support his son's racing dreams. They didn't have much, but they had belief. By the time he was 12, Michael was already winning national karting titles. By 18, he was dominating German Formula 3. By 22, with just one race under his belt, he was in Formula One. That race, the 1991 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, he qualified 7th in a car he'd never driven before. Jordan didn't have the money to keep him, but Benetton saw the fire, and within a year, he was their star. In 1995, he made it too. He wasn't just beating his rivals, he was breaking their will, but he wanted more. And to do that, he made the boldest move of his career. He left a championship-winning team to join a broken one, Ferrari. The once mighty Scuderia hadn't won a driver's championship since 1979. The cars were unreliable, the culture, a mess. But Michael didn't come alone. He brought the band. Technical director Ross Brawn, chief designer Rory Byrne, strategist Jean Todt, the dream team. The first few years, brutal. Engine failures, controversial crashes, injuries. Critics called him arrogant, too aggressive. They said he'd never bring Ferrari back. But behind the scenes, something was building. 1997, championship fight, disqualified. 1998, runner-up. 1999, broken leg, season over. But then, the comeback. From 2000 to 2004, Michael Schumacher was untouchable. 5 straight world championships, a record 13 wins in a single season. He won races from pole, he won races from the back. He won in the wet, he won in the dry. He won when the car was perfect, he won when it wasn't.
Because for Michael Schumacher, winning wasn't just about the checkered flag. It was about dominance, it was about control, it was about sending a message to everyone on the grid that they were simply racing for second. And if you dared to challenge that, he made you regret it. By the late 90s, Schumacher wasn't just a name, he was a force of nature. After back-to-back titles with Benetton in 94 and 95, he made a move that shocked the paddock, joining Ferrari in 1996, a team that hadn't won a driver's championship since 1979. The car? Slow. The team? Disjointed. The pressure? Immense. But Michael didn't flinch. His first win for Ferrari came in treacherous rain at the Spanish Grand Prix. Not just a win, it was a masterclass. He finished over 45 seconds ahead of the field. And that day, the world saw something terrifying. Give Michael Schumacher even half a car, and he would still destroy you. 1997 and 98 were heartbreaks. He battled Villeneuve and Hakkinen tooth and nail, moments that defined his aggression and sometimes his recklessness. He was disqualified from the entire championship in 97 for a controversial collision with Villeneuve, but he came back every single time. Then came the shift. From 2000 to 2004, Michael Schumacher built an empire. 2000, champion. 2001, champion. 2002, champion. 2003, champion. 2004, champion. 5 world titles in 5 straight years. That Ferrari, it wasn't a car, it was an extension of Michael. He was faster in qualifying. He was untouchable in the wet. He made fewer mistakes than anyone. And his team, They worked like a military unit. Ross Brawn, Jean Todt, Rory Byrne, everybody played their role. But make no mistake, Michael was the general. In 2005 and 2006, the tide began to turn. New regulations, rising talents like Fernando Alonso, and a Ferrari that had lost its edge. Still, Michael wasn't done. In 2006, at 37 years old, he mounted one final charge. 7 wins, a title battle that went all the way to the wire. And that legendary drive in China where he danced in the wet like it was 1996, again. But fate had other plans. Engine failure in Suzuka, a puncture in Brazil, and just like that, it slipped away. Fernando Alonso was champion.
And Michael Schumacher? He walked away. Or so we thought. Because in 2010, 3 years after retirement, the legend returned. Older, slower, no longer the untouchable figure he once was. But that didn't matter, because real racers never forget how to race. With Mercedes, he wasn't just there to compete, he was there to build, to plant seeds for something greater than himself. He shaped the team's foundation. He sharpened Nico Rosberg. He laid the blueprint for a dynasty that would one day carry the name Hamilton into the history books. And even if the wins didn't come like before, every lap he turned still meant something. To the team, to the fans, to Formula One itself. In Monaco 2012, he qualified on pole. Yes, at 43 years old, against a grid full of hungry, younger drivers, Michael still had it. That raw, unshakable ability, that glimmer of the unstoppable icon who once ruled the sport. And that's the thing about Schumacher. He wasn't just stats and trophies. He was grit. He was obsession. He was excellence personified. 91 Grand Prix wins, 68 pole positions, 155 podiums, 7 world championships. But those numbers only scratch the surface, because Michael's real legacy isn't just carved in record books, it's burned into the hearts of those who watched him. He took a broken Ferrari and made it feared. He turned losing teams into winning machines. He didn't chase greatness, he demanded it. Every turn, every pit stop, every second of every lap was calculated, brutal, and surgical. But perhaps the greatest measure of his legend wasn't just what he did on the track. It was how everyone else responded to him. Ask any driver from his era.
Talent. Perfection.
Determined. Professional. A king.
And yet, off the track, he was humble, private, a man of few words but immense loyalty. To his team, to his family, to the sport that gave him everything, and to which he gave everything back. And while Lewis Hamilton would eventually equal his record of 7 world titles, Michael did it in an era where reliability was a gamble, where overtaking was earned with guts, not DRS, where every podium came with scars. He raced when cars broke down without warning, when danger was ever present, when skill and courage had to be perfectly balanced, and when mistakes were punished, not with time penalties, but with retirement or worse. He didn't just survive that era, he conquered it. Today, his legacy stands tall. And even though a tragic skiing accident in 2013 silenced the man, his silence speaks volumes, because legends never need to shout. Their greatness echoes in every engine that roars, in every corner that's attacked with bravery, in every young driver who grew up watching that red car fly past the finish line, and in every fan who still wears red on race day, because they remember. Michael Schumacher was not just one of the greatest, he was Formula One. And no matter what the future holds, his name will always belong at the top. Because some champions are remembered for what they did, but the true legends are remembered for how they made us feel.